Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on the difference between pelvic tilt and spinal extension. It's pretty broad.
Sounds fancy.
Sounds fancy. Yeah, it's pretty simple actually, but it will make a big difference for your practice if this isn't something that you've thought about before.
And we talk about this in other videos, but we're going to try to approach it from a different perspective. So hopefully maybe we'll add more clarifications.
I am 100% sure it will add more clarifications. But before we clarify, have you subscribed?
Like, comment, done. Okay. Let's move on.
Okay. All right.
I normally procrastinate, but not here.
Okay. So this is kind of one part of this is in response to a lot of questions that we've gotten. And we do actually get questions. We're not just saying that. Questions that we've gotten about people asking when we say forward bending, but keeping the sits bones down, you know, that idea of keeping, we, like Jelena said, we've talked about before in our yoga butt videos and stuff like that. How are we stretching the hamstrings? And then a lot of the comments that I read say, but my teacher said to lift the sits bones in something like downward facing dog, or in a forward bend to try to do an anterior tilt with the pelvis.
Length.
To find length, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the one about downward dog comes down to traditions. Like we've been over this before too. Different traditions might have different cues or, you know, different conditions for a posture. And so we're not saying anything about any of the other traditions or approaches to downward facing dog. Just in Ashtanga, we can speak with authority on that. And so what we want to try to do in that position is do a posterior tilt. And you can see in our other videos where we talked about that, we've put in even pictures of our teacher and his teacher doing that shape in the back. But I think people are trying to be helpful in like forward bending and stuff, because what they're really trying to say a lot of the time when they say anterior tilt is not to round the back too much.
Yeah, don't slouch.
Yeah, and of course you can do that in downward dog too, right? Your back can be too round or round in the wrong spot. And so this video is just kind of clarify the difference between the posterior tilt and then the lumbar extension. Lumbar is just your lower back. Extension just means like back bending. And then the posterior tilt action. And they go against each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But if you watched any of our videos on any of the asanas that involve twisting, we talk about this quite a bit. And okay, there is, you know, one more direction introduced in that instance, twisting. But what we start to learn through our practice is that different parts of the spine almost get to be isolated and moved in different directions. And so this is what's happening here, is that the bottom part of our spine is going to be doing a slightly different work than what we want in the top part of our spine.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, this is the cue though, right? Is that we want the spine to do something than the sacrum and the hips.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I guess the sacrum's part of the spine, yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to hold the posterior tilt.
Yeah, the tilt is in relation to the hips.
Yeah.
Not the spine. Extension is relation to the spine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then just before we even move forward, it's always important to remember that any anatomical cue that's given to you, taken too far, becomes not skillful or not useful. So it's important for you to also understand, if we say, you know, tuck the tailbone under or pull your sits bones down, it doesn't mean that you go into the full possible range of motion that's available to you, but that there is, you know, you can do it, there's degrees to it. And so same thing with any other. So you have to be mindful to play with that in your own body and find out how that feels. Don't take it to the max.
Too much medicine is poison. So And we were thinking about a good way to talk about this this cue, where it shows up, and this is good because it also relates again to yoga. But one of the most common places where people get the hamstring injury that is yoga butt is in wide leg forward bends, because, and we talked about this in the other video, you've got less resistance through the hamstrings as you're going forward, but the medial hamstring is still getting stretched quite a bit. And then if you lift the sits bones, it puts more stretch into the tendon. Tendons don't like to stretch that much, and so you get these little micro tears. And so if Jelena is folding forward in an anterior tilt, these are her hips, right? And the sits bones, the ischial tuberosities, are the bottom of the hips, of the pelvis. And so keep your hands there. And then as Jelena folds forward, they lift. They have to lift. That's what's happening in there, in the movement, right? For her torso to come forward, for her spine to come down, for her to come into hip flexion, these have to lift. But there's also an action that's happening here in the front. So Jelena, just to get into a hip flexion, is coming into a fold and the sits bones are lifting, but she can work at holding the sits bones down by activating the muscles that would create more of a posterior tilt. So posterior tilt is when your hips go back and your tailbone tucks under. Anterior tilt would be when the sits bones lift and the front hip bones drop forward, right? So yes, the sits bones are lifting when you're going into a forward bend, but you can try to work the same muscles that would hold you in a posterior tilt. So the hamstrings, one, they're pulling down, and then she's going to pull in on the lower belly. So even though the whole pelvis is going to move in space, she's not kind of leading with the sits bones. Can you see that action, the difference in that action? And then I want you to see, can you move your hands down for a second? So watch what happens when Jelena does a posterior tilt in her lower back. Do you see that roundness that starts to come in here? And then watch the anterior tilt. Can you see the extension? Now what we're saying is, yes, you want a posterior tilt, but you don't want to lose extension. This would be too round, right? This is too much. So we want to contain the sits bones, but we still want to feel like we're bringing the chest forward and getting a little bit of length through here. So round more, arch the back more, like this. Okay? So when people say, in a...
So much work.
Is that a lot of work?
In the legs. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing that our teacher would say, in Prasarita. He would say, catch your waist, say we're doing B. And then he would say, inhale. And this inhale, there's no vinyasa count, but there's an action that you're doing, right? Where you're like, it's like back bending, where you pull in. But then he would go inhale. And then I heard him say this before, why back bending? Why back bending? And people would do it in C as well. Those two are particularly, sort of easy to arch the back too much. So he wanted you to lift your chest up here. He wanted you to gather everything together, but he wasn't saying go into an anterior tilt. To me, this would be the beginning. This is how I would start a back bend. So he wanted you to pull in, but then he wanted you to keep the slight posterior tilt with the lumbar extension as you went forward. So you can see there, stop there, that Jelena is flat or reaching, through the spine here. She's not totally curving like that here. But when she's reaching through the spine, she's still got her sits bones pulling down. She's not lifting through the sits bones up. Okay? So, I know it's a little bit subtle, but you're watching a yoga video, so I figure you're into that. And it's an important distinction to make because it changes the way that you work in all of these poses, especially in the primary series. because you're doing this rooting action, pulling in through the bandhas, drawing the tailbone down, but you're also trying to do a lifting action. And what I think happens a lot of the time is we get carried away, like Jelena was saying at the beginning, you get carried away with one or the other. You know, you find something in one of those directions and you go with it, and then you get problems. So yeah, you can get, you know, yoga butt from going too far into that anterior tilt and the extension in the spine, but you can also go too far into the posterior tilt and the containment action as well, where you start to create a lot of tension around the torso.
And not just the tension around the torso. So, you know, collapsing or letting go into an anterior tilt will give you probably an injury here in yoga butt, but then overdoing it with a posterior tilt can also start to lead to pain in the lower back as well. And this is one of the most common things that we hear as teachers too, is when there's too much rounding, where there isn't that lengthening through your upper spine, and then students start to feel some discomfort.
Yeah, too much tension, yeah. Like there's too much of this action, yeah.
But I'm saying like that, yeah, too much tension here, but the pain will show up in the back.
It shows up in the back. It also shows up in the shoulders.
And the shoulders, yeah.
Because you start to create kind of adhesions that don't let your rib cage, you know, open and close properly. You create too much downward connection, and then that's also going to limit the scapular mobility, right? Right, the glenohumeral rhythm.
Okay, David.
Yeah. So it's that fine balance again. And so if we're doing a forward bend on the floor, like Paschimottanasana, and so this is where we've gotten lots of kind of comments before, is that we've told people not to do something like this before they forward bend. And you know, Vinyasa doesn't say to pull the bum back or to lift the arms in the air and all of that. So we're not trying to find that kind of anterior tilt with lumbar extension, but we're also not trying to do posterior tilt and lumbar flexion, right? That's a shitty forward bend. That's going to hurt your back as well. So what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for the element of drawing down, of rooting through the sits bones and containing, but then we're also looking for that element of extension, of lifting through the chest. And then you're going to feel your legs and your core engage here. That's what we're looking for as we come into a forward bend. Anatomically, it's impossible to be in an anterior tilt when you're in full hip flexion. It's just not possible. But the cue that we hear a lot is that people should be trying to reach for an anterior tilt in a forward bend. And I think what they're saying when they say that is not to round the back too much, right? So better maybe to say, look for more lumbar extension. Try to lengthen through your lower back or lift your chest more, instead of saying roll forward or lift the sits bones off the floor. Roll forward's okay as long as they're pulling down, but don't lift the sits bones away from the floor. All right.
That's enough.
That's enough. Nerding it out.
You are.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, like, cut.
Well, if you made it this far, congratulations.
Try it on. Let us how it goes.
Let us know how it goes. Yeah.
That's what I said. No?
Oh, yeah. I just heard let us.
Let us know how it goes. Okay. Don't make fun of people that speak English as a second language. Okay. Bye.
Bye.